Hi friends. So now we are taking up another important question. Which bacteria is not associated with preformed toxin? Obviously the answer to this question is what? Vibrio cholerae, as it is given down also. Okay, why it is so? Because the Vibrio cholerae produces toxin after colonization. Fine. Therefore the cholera is not caused by what? A preformed toxin. First thing. Now, regarding the Vibrio cholerae toxin, you can remember up certain points, and that certain point is what? That Vibrio cholerae toxin is made up of two components, A and B. Okay, this is having two particular entities of it, A1 and A2, and this is having like five entities of it, B1 to P5. Okay, so as the name suggests, B helps in what? Binding. Binding to what? Binding to the GM1 ganglioside receptors. This is the binding sites of it. GM1 ganglioside receptors, that is the binding site of it. After binding to this, what happens? ADP ribosylation. ADP ribosylation of G stimulatory protein. Okay, so this is also being asked that which particular proteins are involved of G stimulatory or G inhibitory. Here the answer is G stimulatory. So G stimulatory protein that is being involved up, and because of that what happens, there is an increase in the annihilate cyclase activity. There is an increase in the annihilate cyclase activity, and by this increase of annihilate cyclase activity, what happens? There is an increase in the cyclic AMP. Okay, and when there is increase in cyclic AMP, what happens? The intracellular water comes into the lumen, and the patient develops what? Massive diarrhea. And this particular diarrhea is also termed as what? Rice watery or rice watery stool. Another favorite question of examiner. The rice watery stool is seen in. The answer is cholera. Other than that, what you need to remember here, guys, one more thing, that this rice watery stool is also typically seen in which particular poisoning in the forensic? That is the arsenic. So that also is an important question. So remember, guys, Vibrio cholerae is a very important question. It's not a preformed toxin. It is forming after the colonization, and it is made of two components, 2A and 5B. And I have just told you the mechanism, how does it binds off, and which particular G stimulatory inhibitory involves up. G stimulatory involves up, and there is an increase in what? Cyclic AMP, which causes what? Massive diarrhea. What type? Rice watery, and which mimics what? Which particular poisoning? Arsenic metal poisoning. Got this point? Now talking about the Staph aureus stuff. Okay. So Staph aureus, as you already know, the Staph aureus incubation period, that is the IP of it, the incubation period of it, that is around 1 to 6 hours. Okay, the incubation period of this particular one is how much? 1 to 6 hours. And can you tell me which other fellow mimics the same 1 to 6 hours? The answer to that question is Bacillus cereus, but not the both. This particular one, Bacillus cereus hematic, it is having the incubation period of how much? 1 to 6 hours. Remember this particular thing also. Okay, the Staph aureus incubation period is 1 to 6 hours. Bacillus cereus incubation period is 1 to 6 hours. Hematic one. So how to differentiate up? You will ask the history, that what you have eaten up. In this, that fellow will give the history of what? Contaminated meat and milk in the Staph aureus. And in this, typical history of Chinese fried rice will be given up in the Bacillus cereus hematic one. One thing. Okay. Another thing is, obviously it is a preformed toxin. Okay, it is a preformed toxin. Fine. Then what is how does it acts upon? It is a having a vagomimetic action. Okay, it is having a vagomimetic action, and this particular one appears to stimulate the intestinal parasitic activity. So it is having what? Vagomimetic action. Fine. Other than that, is it a heat stable or heat labile? Remember, guys, it is a heat stable toxin. Okay, even though you heat up the food, it will not go. It's a heat stable toxin. This also you need to remember. Okay. And how does you detect up this enterotoxin and all? So obviously that you know that in the food you can do the ELISA or various latex agglutination tests are available, and nowadays PCR is also available for all this. Okay, so remember this is a enterotoxin mediated stuff, and which particular toxin is involved up, this can also be question. So which type? So answer is type A. Type A enterotoxin is involved up in causing a most of the food poisoning of Staph aureus. This also you need to remember. So I'm talking about here regarding what? Staph aureus, and it's a preformed toxin. Most common type is what? Type A. Vagomimetic action, heat stable it is. Remember that. And after eating of what? Contaminated meat and milk. Got my point? So this is regarding the Staph aureus. And regarding the Bacillus cereus, you need to remember this thing, that the Bacillus cereus hematic one, it is also having the incubation period of how much? 1 to 6 hours. Okay, and it also produces a heat stable toxin. Okay, this also produces a heat stable toxin, but the history of the eating is what? Chinese fried rice. Okay, Chinese fried rice, that is what is the catalytic history in Bacillus cereus hematic one, and it produces also heat stable toxin. What is the mechanism of it? That is the CGMP, guanosine monophosphate. That is the mechanism of this heat stable toxin. Okay, and if you're talking about hematic one, let's talk about the Bacillus cereus diarrheal one also. So the Bacillus cereus diarrheal one, in this what you need to remember, the incubation period is slightly more, that is 8 to 16 hours. This is the incubation period of Bacillus cereus diarrheal one, and this toxin involved here is not stable. It is a heat labile toxin, and the mechanism of action of this toxin is what? It is cyclic AMP, that is adenosine monophosphate. Got my point? So this particular one, hematic one, Chinese fried rice one, that is GMP stuff, guanosine monophosphate, and this is adenosine monophosphate stuff. Got my point? Then, other than that, the third option, if you look out, that is Bacillus cereus we'll talk about. Now talking about Clostridium botulinum. Okay, so if you talk about the Clostridium botulinum, so here I have written up this particular thing, Clostridium botulinum stuff. And Clostridium botulinum, you remember like this: 8 distinct antigenic types are there. What are there? 8 distinct antigenic types are there in the Clostridium botulinum. And what are the names of them? A, B, C1, C2, D, E, F, G. Okay, so basically they want to teach up regarding the alphabets. Okay, A, B, C, D rhymes. So actually in this particular rhyme, the C comes twice. So C1 and C2, it is A, B, C1, C2, D, E, F, G. Fine. And out of them, A, B, E, F, G, this particular one, A, B, E, F, G, which is excluded up obviously. So answer is C and D is excluded here. Okay, they are coded by what? Chromosomal genes. First point. Okay, this is the first point which you can remember up. They are coded by what? Chromosomal genes. Whereas the C1 and D, the remaining one, they are coded by what? Phage genes. And what is phage? That is the bacteriophage. Okay, guys, that is not phage actually, you call it as phage. The bacteriophage or bacteriophage, whatever you call it, as such it is phage. As such it is phage, not phage. Okay, C1 and D, they are coded by what? The phage genes that are lysogenic in the Clostridium botulinum. So guys, this question can come. This question can come in aims that which particular types they are chromosomal ones, guarded by chromosomal genes, and which is by the phage genes, by this lysogenic property. Okay. Another important point, that is actually the second point here, and the third point here is this one, that types A, B, and E, this causes almost all the human botulism. Okay, this particular one causes most of the human botulism episodes, A, B, and E. Okay, so basically in Hindi what you call na Abe. So Abe causes what? Most of the human botulism. All toxins, they are proteins of this particular molecular weight, that is 1,50,000 molecular weight. And what is the main action? You already know how does botulinum acts upon. it prevents the release of acetylcholine. It prevents the release of what? Acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction, causing a what? Flaccid paralysis. As you already know, this one happens in the botless. Fine. So this also you need to remember. So this is important point regarding this. Now, lastly, if we talk about the Clostridium perfringens here, Clostridium perfringens toxin. So guys, in this particular one, you remember one thing, that like this Clostridium perfringens toxin, which one is involved up? Type A. Okay, so in microbiology, if you're confused up now, the type A, B, C, D, mostly the answer is what? Type A. So remember like this also. So Clostridium perfringens type A is involved up, and this is also an enterotoxin. This is also an enterotoxin, and the infection of this particular one happens to be due to eating up of what? Contaminated meat. Okay, this particular infection of Clostridium perfringens, okay, food poisoning, it mostly relates with what? Eating up what? Contaminated milk. And what is the incubation period here also? So remember, that is around this much, 8 to 24 hours. This is the incubation period of Clostridium perfringens toxin, 8 to 24 hours. Okay, and which one is involved up mostly? That is the type A. Guys, one question can come here, that this particular fellow, Clostridium perfringens, this is being caused by this enterotoxin type A, but remember one thing, the spores of this, they are heat resistant. Okay, the spores, if they are produced of spores, the spores are termed as what? They are termed as heat resistant. The spores are heat resistant, and it is done by this type A enterotoxin. Incubation period is around 8 to 24 hours, and mostly what is involved up? This contaminated meat. Okay, so these are the various questions which you can remember up. And one more, if you feel like in this point you can add up, that mostly it does what? It does pores. Okay, P for this you can remember up, it produces what? Pores in the intestinal mucous membrane. It produces pores in the intestinal mucous membranes. Okay, this particular fellow. Now, in a quick recap of all the things, I will tell you that what we have done in this question. The question was, which bacteria is not associated with preformed toxin? The answer is very much sure now, Vibrio cholerae, because it is formed after colonization. Whereas all others, they all are preformed ones. Regarding Vibrio cholerae, I have told you this thing, A and B, and the point to be remembered here is this particular one, that is the G stimulatory is involved. This is the first question here. Second question here is rice watery stuff, and what it mimics up? Arsenic metal poisoning. Got my point? Then you have the Staph aureus stuff. Incubation period is how much? 1 to 6. What it mimics up? This emetic one. And after eating of what? Chinese fried rice. Okay, this also another question. Then regarding the Staph aureus food poisoning, obviously this was like we are talking about the from the starting only, that is the preformed toxin. Action is vagomimetic. Okay, and it is a heat stable toxin. Even if you heat up the food, it will not go. So the best thing is to discard the food. Regarding the Bacillus cereus, this is the same thing. Remember this one, it is cyclic GMP increase because of the heat stable toxin. Bacillus cereus emetic one. But the diarrheal one, the action is different. That is cyclic AMP is increased up because of Bacillus cereus diarrheal one. Okay, and regarding that Clostridium botulinum, you can remember up these three important points. The first important point is that type A, B, E, F, and G, they are the chromosomal ones. Only two, that is CD, they are the FAST genes, and that are lysogenic in the Clostridium botulinum. They involved up by that particular process. What is the process name, guys? Transduction. Okay, and this is transduction part only is what? Lysogenic conversion. Then these Abe fellows, they are the one which causes most of the human botulism. What is the action of it? Anticholinergic. It prevents the release of acetylcholine. Where? At the neuromuscular junction. And what it causes? So answer is, it causes flaccid paralysis because of it. Regarding the Clostridium perfringens, it causes P4P, that is the pores. First thing. Incubation period is how much? 8 to 24 hours. Type A enterotoxin, This particular one, I have told you that if you're confused up anywhere that which particular toxin type is involved up, mostly the answer is what? Type A. Okay, remember guys, type A is there, but the spores are what? Spores are heat resistant, produced by this particular Clostridium perfringens food poisoning one. Okay, so remember all these points regarding the this question, and this definitely it can repeat up in the NEET exam and the AIMS exam. Thank you so much.